Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? What the hell was that? Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? Uh, I am doing really good. I don't want to jinx it, but hold on. I apparently have like a spicy chicken biscuit in the back of my throat. I don't want to jinx it, but I was super sick all day yesterday, and last night I was like, wait a minute, do I feel better? What's going on? I ended up staying up until way past my bedtime because I felt better and I didn't want to waste it on sleep. So I haven't wired this yet. I'm just gonna go through and show you guys how I do it. Oh yeah, so I don't know what happened yesterday. I started feeling bad Saturday night. Well, I've been having these like muscular pains in my stomach, like actual abdominal pains, I guess I should say. But I've also had a stomach ache. Um, and my anxiety just like got the better of me. It just ran wild. And my mom had to come over and she stayed with me for, she stayed over for a couple of hours. And then I was like, all right, you need to go because I don't like her driving in the dark. And yeah, Saturday night was bad. Sunday was just, I was like every 5 minutes I was Googling something else. Like, what's happening with this? Why do I feel this way? What's going on? But until I can actually see a doctor, I am sticking with the theory that I have an ulcer that was aggravated by the ibuprofen, and now it is just giving me problems. So I don't feel like nauseous. It just feels like an ache, you know? And like it hurts. It hurts more when I'm lying down. I have like this weird like tightness in my, not really in my chest, it's like closer towards my shoulder kinda. And I am burping incessantly. So I'm gonna go with ulcer, which I already have medicine for that I'm taking, but apparently, you know, if you take the ibuprofen that you shouldn't have been prescribed in the first place, things are bound to happen. So I'm just gonna eat light and stay away from foods that I know will aggravate it and hope for the best. But I'm feeling okay right now. Got a little headache, but that's only because I took my Bidorian yesterday, and that always gives me a headache. Take it on Saturday, I have a headache, slight headache, not bad. Not like my migraines where I have to take enough Benadryl to put down a rhinoceros and sleep it off. So today I just had a therapy appointment, so it's the 13th. I got to talk with my therapist. We're doing the telehealth virtual visit thing. Oh my god, I hope that is not I hope people are not like, hey, this is like so much better. We should just all start doing this, because I'm going to be like, nope. I said, I don't like that. I said, unless you can guarantee that I have the best possible connection and that he has the best possible connection. Because he was like, well, Adam, you know, when you think about it, and that's what you should do. And I was like, wait, what? You just like totally cut out. And he's like, well, I just told you that if you do. So, I don't like that, but it's good. It's good to talk to him, just tell him what was going on. I have two mats down. I don't know why I brought this other mat in here. I think I thought it would make the ruffling easier, but who knows this. Alright, so that didn't take too long, and that's how you set up the frame. I mean, you didn't need to see that to understand, I don't think, but if you did, that's how you do it. One in here, two out here. And that's 18 total, 12 on the outside, 6 on the inside. I'm gonna put these away. Alright, you can see I have this mesh over here. Most of it's already ruffled. I'm going to do a couple of them when we get to it, but for right now, I'm going to use this red metallic mesh to do the poof method just to make a base. Oh god, this wreath on the front of this thing is so ugly. Wow. This is from Walmart. I bought it for Valentine's Day and never used it, and let me tell you, this is terrible quality. I mean, let me just... Oh, of course it's got freaking tape on it. Why wouldn't it have freaking tape on it? Okay. I mean, it's really thin. There's very little metallic in it. I mean, can you even see it? Barely. I'm going to just do poofs on here because I want a base to show off the more expensive mesh, obviously. So I'm going to drop that on the ground. Get some cable ties. 3. And I have red ones. I don't know where this package, I think this came from like Family Dollar or Dollar General or Dollar Make You Holler, something. They're right there. I'm just going to take this and give myself a couple of inches. A little more. And I'm going to start right in front of one of these. So it's going to go over this, but we're not using the first one. We see that. It's going to go over into this one, but we're not going to use that until we come back around. I am going to take this. This is an extra long cable tie for some reason. Take that, tie it down. This is what's going to fry, so this is contained, and I'm just going to push that to the back because we don't need to be dealing with that. There are scissors all over my desk because my mom had to come over yesterday, Saturday and Sunday, today's Monday, to stay with me for a little bit, and she was like, can you give me a haircut? And I was like, are you serious? Why would you want me to do that to you? You need to have more respect for yourself. But then I was looking at her and I was like, your hair is crazy because she's got short hair. And it was just, I mean, it was like everywhere. And I was like, all right, let me try. So I'm measuring this to 10 inches. Actually, I think I'm going to do 12. Should I have enough for 12? I should. All right. And it's going to go into the next pipe cleaner over. Yeah, because there's always some left over when I do 10, so I think I can get away with doing 12. Twisted once, twice. So she's over here and she's like, can you give me a haircut? And I was like, oh, God, don't make me do that. But it was looking kind of crazy. And she was like, I just need you to trim it. And I was like, you don't have like an easy haircut. Like if you had long hair, yeah, I could go in and just, you know, nip off the ends, but she's got like a Jamie Lee Curtis Activia haircut. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. So I got out my trimmers first that I use for my beard and occasionally my head. And I just like, I'm gonna shave my whole head. And I like trim up the back, and she was like, she told me to just do the back, and I was like, all right. And then once it was done, she's like, do you want to do the top? And I was like, oh, God, no, not really. I'm going to mess it up so bad. But I think I actually did a pretty bomb job. And she's like, oh, it feels so much better. And when I talked to her earlier, she said the girl she works with, she's like, she noticed that I got my hair cut. She was wondering where I went. And I was like, well, don't send her over here. See, my mom comes over here because I'm so stressed and anxious, and then she's like, "Can you cut my hair?" And I'm like, "Wow, could you think of anything more stressful for me to do?" But it was fine. I mean, even if I would have messed it up, she just wanted it off. She said she was gonna take the hair clippers and put on like the longest guard and then give herself like a crew cut. And I was like, "Oh, mom, no." I said, "Don't tell your regular lady when you finally get to go back that I did this to you, because she's gonna call like APS or something." But it did. It looked good. I mean, I was like, "Wow, I actually did a thing." Which everybody keeps saying like, "Oh, it's easy," but I was like, "No, it's not easy. People go to school to learn how to do this." I could see if you just shaving up or trimming longer hair or maybe even cutting bangs, but like that haircut, But we did it. She looked fresh, ready to spend another hell-filled week at Walmart. She told me today when I talked to her, she said they let they let the people in at 7. She said every person ran right to the Easter clearance, and I was like, of course they did. Why wouldn't they? I was like, did you expect something else? She's like, no, I knew they would. She told me Friday, because she worked, she works every weekday and then she's off on the weekends. Sometimes she's off during the weekend. She works like, I think it's like the first Sunday or the first weekend of the month they work. When she came over Saturday morning so we could go to the grocery, she's like, I hid a bunch of candy in my department. And I was like, what do you mean you hid a bunch of candy? She said, I hid a bunch of gold brick eggs. Is that a local? It can't be a local thing. It seems like so local. I don't know why. She's like, I hit a bunch of gold brick eggs. I think it's a New Orleans company, maybe. Maybe that's it. I hit a bunch of gold brick eggs and heavenly hash and almond joy eggs in my department. I said, you work in lingerie. Like, what? Where did you hide them? She's like, I shoved them underneath a bunch of scrubs. And I was like, oh. I was like, so you stole them? She's like, I didn't steal them. I'm just waiting for them to go on clearance. And I was like, well, they're going to go on clearance on Monday, and you get there 2 hours before the store even opens. Why would you not just get them then? But she was afraid of running out. And then when she came over yesterday on Easter, um, even though I was like 95% dead, um, she's like, I brought you Easter basket, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to throw up. Like, it was just like Kit Kats and Reese's Pieces, and I was like, I don't eat this stuff. I mean, I got into a Kit Kat, but they were like this big. They were so cute. Yeah, see, this should be giving a lot more coverage than it is, but what you gonna do? And yeah, I could have ordered a roll from Craft Outlet, but I had this and I said, okay, well, let's do that. Okay, now I'm at where I started. I'm gonna end right here. And then we are going to, let me move this out. It doesn't matter if it gets smashed. I'm moving this out of the way. And I'm gonna zip tie right behind this one right here. I'm going to do it on this second ring. And you're only doing this to make sure things stay nice and tight and secure. Oh, crap, I didn't go around the thing. And I almost tightened it. That would have made me really angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You really wouldn't like me when I'm hangry. My mom bought me potato salad and I was so sick and I was like, I just want to eat that potato salad. I want to eat all that potato salad. And I was like, no, don't do it. You're going to regret it. And then I started feeling better last night. I was like, get up and eat the potato salad. Then I was like, no, don't eat anything. Don't risk it. But I got all my stuff out and I was like, I am so excited to film a video. Y'all don't even know how long. I don't even remember how long it's been since I filmed a video. It's probably been like 2 days and I'm like, it's been years. Alright, so this is going to start here, going out to 12. This is where we started. So this is where we started? Yeah, this is where we're going. I'm kind of having my doubts about this. We'll see. That other red mesh I'm putting on top of here is pretty thick. So you guys have a fun Easter? I know it's been probably tough for people with kids or grandkids, you know. I saw a bunch of people. It was like, oh, we're having a crawfish boil. And I was like, okay, that's more than 10 people and y'all are more than 6 feet together. So what are you doing? I'm sure y'all are not all quarantined together. And I told my mom, I was like, I wish I had thought enough to get like a quarantine buddy. I don't know who that would be because y'all know people drive me crazy. I think it might have been nice to have my sister here, but I would have killed her already, so maybe not. For Easter, all I did was lay in bed and drift in and out of sleep. And cry a couple of times, you know. Took the dog for a walk. When my mom came over, he seemed to enjoy that, even though he doesn't know how to walk on a leash because he's a spaz. Oh. Yeah, so I went out with my mom. I don't know if I talked about this in the last video. Well, if I did talk about it in the last video, that was only Saturday. I don't know. I may have finished that Friday. Went out with my mom because we go out on Saturday. That's my day for me to go out and replenish. And we go to the Walmart neighborhood market because I haven't felt up to going to an actual Walmart because although my mom did say that they put in like one-way markers so you can only go one way down an aisle, so it's not like you're looking at something on one side of the aisle, I'm looking at something on the other, and we pass within, 17 inches of each other's faces. So I might have to check that out one day. Yeah, we go to Walmart, and they're counting you as you come in, and they're giving you a card that's been sanitized. Do I have enough to go around this again? Possibly. Alright, because this is so thin, I'm going to go around, and I'm going to go from inside to outside, like doing another poof like this. I saw somebody doing this, and I was like, why are they doing that? But maybe they had crappy mesh too. So, we're together, we're shopping together, we don't live together, and like we're walking around, and one of the women who was the manager there used to work at the store my mom works at. And she's like, hey, how y'all doing? And my mom's like, oh, we're hanging in there, blah, blah, blah. So she says, are y'all shopping together? And my mom was like, oh, yeah, we come, we get groceries every Sunday. Wait, I went from here to here, then I have to go from here to here? Is that right? I guess. And she's like, oh, no, he has to go wait in the car. And my mom was like, what did you just say to me? And I was like, Mom, don't fight her. And she's like, I'm gonna fight her. And I was like, Mom, don't fight her. So I was like, we're not, she's like, there's only one member per household. And I was like, we don't live together. I wish we lived together. We don't. And she's like, well, you know, you can't be in here shopping without a basket. And I was like, what sense does that make, that you're going to make me get a basket, which is going to make it harder for me to get around the store and is going to make me occupy more space? So she's like, I'm sorry, you just really need a basket and you need to, like, put your own groceries in your own basket. I was like, well, this is ridiculous. I said to go outside, get a new basket, and the guy was like, didn't you come in here already? And I was like, yes, I did, but they told me I needed my own basket. And he's like, that's stupid. I was like, yeah, that is stupid. Thank you. So I got my own basket, pushed it around the store, made a point not to put anything in it. I mean, that's just dumb. And I get, like, I know, I understand why. This is all twisting up. I understand why, but it's just like, give me a break. And then we go to Dollar Tree, and there's like, you know, the same, I mean, I'm sure it's the same everywhere where there's like a line outside because they can only have so many people inside the store at the same time. And my mom walks in and I like hang outside, and then the woman, the manager there, she like waves me in and she's like, come on honey, I'm gonna let y'all shop together. I know y'all shop together all the time. And I was like, oh thanks. She said, yeah, it's okay. She's like, I know that you have special needs and that's, you know, your mom takes care of you. And I was like, excuse me? She's like, I know, you know, you have special needs. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, you know, your mom takes care of you. And I was like, do I correct her? Am I offended? And I was like, yeah, she does. And my mom was like, what did she say? I was like, I think she thinks that you are my primary caregiver because I have special needs. And then my mom looks at me, she's like, you do have special needs. You have anxiety. I was like, I don't think that's a special need, Mother. And she said, well, would you be able to come here by yourself? I said, oh, hell no. Maybe last week. Wait, this is on the outside, so this one's got to go on the inside. Yo, this is confusing. And why is this not coming through? Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. So we walked around, we got whatever my mom needed. I don't even think I got anything. I was like, why are we here? And she's like, I need coffee creamer. And I was like, they sell that at Walmart. This is just sticking to everything. It doesn't have like a nice finished edge like that one does, so it's just like all over the place. But yeah, so that was my adventure out this weekend. Oh, and then we left. We came home, we put away the groceries, and then we went to, there's a wonderful, which, I didn't really say that, but okay. Wonderful little nursery. Not like super close to my house, like it's right like inside Orleans Parish. Little nursery, everything's outdoors. They have it set up where there's like no contact checking out. You put your plants down, they see how much they are, you know, you put your credit card in the machine, they don't touch it. So we went there because my mom, she was looking for tomatoes last week when we were at Home Depot, and I was like, why don't you just go to Harold's? I said, they're gonna be 50 cents more, but they're gonna have such a nice selection. So she was looking for tomatoes and zucchini or something, and I was looking for Oh my God, staples. Why? I'm bitching about the staples. I'm bitching about the tape. I was looking for sedum because like a lemon, what is it, lemon coral or lemon jade sedum? It kind of looks like a succulent, but it's not. Um, I planted that at the base of one of my roses, and I can't remember the last time I watered it, and it is beautiful. It is just like it's so full, it's so big, it's all blooming. I was like, man, I need to get more of this instead of always try to like plant like a mixed container. Like I have these hay racks on my fence that I always like. Last year they had zinnias and lantana and sweet potato vine, but the sweet potato vine is like the thirstiest thing you can possibly plant anywhere. And the lantanas and whatever else, what else is in there? The zinnias. Yo, I think I just have enough to finish this. Of course, this is what the end looks like, but whatever. That's gonna go in this one, I think. Yeah, because that's where the cable tie is. So we walked around there for like longer than we needed to, but it was outside. There weren't any. There were like 3 other people there, and it was such a nice day. And I was just like, can we just like keep walking around? And she's like, yeah, whatever you want to do. So we walked around. I think she got a couple of milkweeds too. I raised monarch butterflies a couple years back, and ever since then, my mom's been like, she has her little butterfly garden, all set up. Okay, so that's one roll of 10-inch, and at least you can't really see the frame. I'm going to turn this over and find. Is this it? Yeah. Bring this to the back. Leave that on the front. Yeah, she plants she plants her milkweed every year, and the monarchs come and lay their eggs, and then, the caterpillars eat the milkweed, and then they go off and form their chrysalis. And when I did it, I found the caterpillars on the milkweed, and then I would take them off and put them in a little terrarium deal with, milkweed leaves to eat, and then butternut squash once they got bigger. Because they're bright green. That's like a bird seeing one and being like, hey, dinner. So I took mine off and I had them in my laundry room, and I had them in the laundry room at night, and then I would put them out during the day. Wow, this is a mess right here. I think I definitely did that wrong, but can I get you to come this way maybe? And she doesn't want to deal with that because it's a lot of work, because they crap constantly, and she doesn't want to deal with that, so she just lets them eat, and then she tries to find them around the yard, and she said the birds keep, when the butterflies like first emerge, they have to pump their wings for however long it is, and she's like, the birds keep getting them, and I was like, put them in a terrarium. But I think that takes like the fun out of it. She likes going out there and like looking for them and finding them. Okay, so that's the poof base done. I have no idea how long that took, but it feels like forever. And now I'm doing ruffles on these. I wanted to do the woodland ruffle, but I was afraid that it wasn't going to show enough of this pretty tinsel in here. So I just made ruffles. Most of them are made. I'm just going to do these few and make sure I get one in. Wait, where is that? Oh, right here. Okay, that looks better. It was like a big knot of mesh right there. And turn them so the cut ends are going like that. And these are cut about 18 to 19 inches. Some of them are 20. I talked about that in one of my other videos about how if I cut them exactly at 20, I'm going to end up cutting some of them at 21 or 22, and then I'm going to not have 18 from the roll. So I've been cutting them an inch or so shorter, just to make sure that I have enough. I'm going to use the ones I made already because that'll be easier and I'll know how many I have. I turned the air off so I could film, and it is sticky in here. I mean, probably not for anybody else, but for me, I'm like, oh my god, what is it, 67 in here? I'm dying. Come on. So I think that's all that happened this weekend. Which, for being quarantined and stuck at home, it seems like I certainly did a lot. Then we went to the place we go to for lunch every Saturday, got our takeout, came home and ate it. And that night I was like, telling my stomach is killing me again. And it was. I don't know. I don't know what it is, because I always get like a turkey sandwich. They use really, I don't want to say stale, but it's the really hard French bread that you bite into it and it like crumbles in your face. Which I don't like. I would prefer like softer bread, but I think I can't handle that much bread. Even though I don't think I've ever finished a full sandwich. And I was like, oh, I don't feel right. So I think this week, when we go to whatever grocery store we end up at, oh wait, this needs to be nice again. I'm gonna actually be like, hey, let's fix something for lunch instead of going out to eat lunch, or let's go somewhere else. I'm like, is anybody else like real wary of eating food you haven't prepared? Not that I'm like, oh my god, no, you definitely can't do that, because I've definitely done it, several times, but I don't know, it's just like, So I had my appointment with my therapist right before this. It ended right before I sat down to film. Did I miss one? Yep. Nope. Yep. Wait, did I? Yep. That was good. I told them that, I've been feeling bad, and like, I know a lot of people are letting the pressure of being home get to them, and that's affecting them. But I'm like, it's not about that for me. It's that, like, I'm fine. I'm fine alone. I'm fine home. I do wish I had a quarantine buddy, but, whatever. I said it's like people are affected because they're home and they want to be out and they want to do things and they want to do this and do that, and I was like, that's not me. Like, I don't care about stuff like that. I am affected by my inability. Wait, I'm reaching. Oh god, don't break my back. I'm affected by my inability to get help if I need it. And I know my doctor's office is open. I know the emergency room is open, but those are not places I want to be, really. I don't think those are safe places. Oh, thank God the air kicked on. So it's like not having access to that, or having limited access, or, it's just, I am just, oh, it's the worst thing that could possibly happen. It's not just a stomach ache. It's definitely like, I don't know, Something ridiculous. Like, I told my mom, I was like, what if it's this? And she was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, well, what is it? She's like, well, no, it's not. I don't think that's a real thing. So yeah, I feel like as long as I feel well, I'm going to be fine. And I'm probably going to regret making this wreath because my back is really hurting already, but I really wanted to make a wreath. Because I know this is going to take me like an hour or so. And then, you know, I'll have something to edit, I'll have thumbnails to make, I'll have to edit the sound. And that's my plan for today, because I still think we all need schedules. You know, even if you're out of work or you're working from home, like, you still need something to make you feel normal in this ridiculously abnormal situation. I did see, though, that the social distancing is apparently working, which I haven't seen it working here, because there's always people everywhere, but I'm also only going out on the weekends, which there would obviously be more people. They said there's less people on ventilators, less people in the hospital. The number of cases is still going up because it's taking them forever to run the test kits. But I feel like I looked at this, you know, I'm trying not to read the news because that never ends well. Me being informed never ends well. Oh, my back. But I read this thing this morning because I was like, what is going on with this curve? And I read this thing and it said something about like the doubling down rate, where like when something's growing exponentially, like you see it double every day, and that's how you know like it's still growing exponentially, and it has stopped doubling. I think it was the death rate stopped doubling, or the I don't know, the cases stopped, something stopped doubling, and I was like, okay, if something stopped doubling, that sounds good. But of course they had the graphs of like the 3 hotspots, and it was Washington, New York, Chicago, and New Orleans. How did that happen? My mom keeps saying it's because of Mardi Gras, which I know the virus is around Mardi Gras and people come from all over to come here, but I was like, I don't know. But then why else would it be here? Like, we're not New York and we're not California. Like, not that. We're not as populated as New York or parts of California. It's got to be that it was just, you know, a bunch of drunk idiots all together in one place that came from all over the place and then left and infected a bunch of other people. But I know the mayor said something like, you know, if she had had more warning, she would have canceled Mardi Gras. And I was like, how are you going to cancel Mardi Gras? Which, I mean, a lot of things have been canceled that I didn't think were cancelable. So, yeah. But maybe that would have helped, maybe not. I don't think there's any use in, you know, people fighting over it now because it's said and done. But next year, I think we should definitely cancel Mardi Gras. Just because I don't like it. And if I don't like something, nobody else should like it. And I watched this video, which was super informative. It's from I'm telling y'all I'm gonna link it, but I'm not. You know, I'm not gonna remember to do that. It's from Corridor. I think it's either the Corridor crew. It's like why the virus surprised us so much, and he's talking about they do digital FX, like visual effects, and the guy doing the video is talking about, okay, say we have a piece of paper, and I turn that into 2 pieces of paper, which is one person's infected, they infect another person, and then those 2 people go on to infect 2 more people. So you go from 1 piece of paper, you have 2, those 2 turn to 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, on and on. And it grows exponentially. So he's asking the people around the office, like, if we did that with paper, how high would it be? And, people are like, oh, like 3 feet, 2 feet, whatever. And it ended up being that it was like 2 stories high. Because you don't understand, even when it's qualified by something like a piece of paper, you don't understand. So he does this visual representation of, he's like, say that you're in, well, he did a visual representation of how high the paper would be stacked to, using graphics. But he said, imagine you're in he was in the Grand Canyon. He's like, you're there, and it's so big, and it's so massive, and I didn't realize how big the Grand Canyon was, but, like, the way he was talking about it and the way I was looking at it, I was like, this thing is pretty big. I don't do the Southwest. He's talking about it, and he's like, okay, say you're hiking in the Grand Canyon, and, you're like, wow, it's so big. And your dad calls you on the phone. He says, oh my God, there's a drop of water hovering over the Grand Canyon, and it's doubling in size every time it drops. It's dropping like once a second or something. And you're on your hike, and you're just like, okay, well, thanks, Dad. Weird. So, like, you don't see anything. Like, you can't see anything because it's only a couple of gallons of water. But then around an hour, you're walking and you're like, you start seeing that, like, the bottom of the canyon is full. And you're seeing the bottom of the canyon is full, and you're like, oh, I should really start heading back. But at that point, it's too late, because from the time it started, and this is like a hypothetical thing, to tell you, like, the scale of how these things happen. From the time it started, your dad called and said, you should get out of the Grand Canyon. This thing is, there's water droplets falling in the Grand Canyon. You're like, what's the big deal? It's enormous. To the time that you notice it, that there's like a river forming at the bottom of the canyon. And how long would it take to fill up after that? If it took an hour to get from a few drops to a river, how long would it take to fill the whole canyon? And this is really big. Fill the whole canyon, and that's still 24 inches. Fill the whole canyon and overflow so where you get washed away and there's no hope for you. And I'm like he waits for a second, and I'm like, I don't know, like another 2, 3, 4 hours? It was 6 minutes. Because when you get to like 1 million, and then that doubles to 2 million, which 4 million, it's just, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, the canyon overflows. I'm going to pull these up so when I come back, I know where they're all at. The canyon overflows, and you're done for. And that's exactly how the virus moves so quickly, because it was, the exponential growth of it. And even if you're not watching, like, any of the news stuff, which you shouldn't be. I mean, no, I guess I shouldn't say. If you want to watch it, you should watch it. But I mean, don't overdo it if you're like, if you're having problems with it. Like, if something really bad or really good happens, you're going to hear about it from somewhere else. But if you don't watch stuff about the virus, if you watch that video, it's really, really interesting, and like it's really well done. And it really made me understand more about what happened, why it happened, how it happened. And I was like, that is so cool. They do a lot of stuff like that. Like, how many basketballs would it take to like cover a football field? Or how many, that's what he was talking about with the paper. He was like, eventually, it wouldn't take long for us to keep doubling these pieces of paper, and then we would reach like the moon, and then we would like go around the moon, and then we would like go around the whole solar system really quickly, a lot quicker than you think it would happen because of the exponential growth. But I'm going to try to link it because it's a really good watch. So next, which is going to be later because I need to go rest my back, I'm going to put in my little loop-de-loops, and look what I got, y'all. I got a stapler. That's what I do right here. It's done. Wait, let me grab another one because they're hanging on my tripod. Which is not a tripod, it's a PVC pipe and a bunch of cable ties. Take this, look at this, 24 inches. Do it over a little bit, fold it in half, make sure it's even. Really? Okay. And then we're going to put it in there. You put it in there like that, but I'm also thinking maybe I might want to put them in here like this. Let me do one and see what I think. Because if I do two, I'm going to have to cut 18 more. Oh, I think I like that. Oh. I have some that are already done. Let me see. I think this might end up being too silver, and then we run into, I think if they were not 24 inches, it would have been better. Let me see. Yeah, I think the two of them is hiding too much of the red. Oh, yeah, well that came out. Yeah, that's better. Just a little silver sparkle throughout, but I am going to staple the rest of those and go take a break and get on my cold pack, I think, because I'm very hot. The air went off again. And then I'll be back right now. Magic. Okay, so here's where we're at. I think I have one more of these to put in, which I have, okay, it's right there. I'm like, what? This is, she's big. Not any wider, which I thought she would be with the 12-inch Poofs, but definitely can't see the frame anymore, so that's good. So again, this, spoiler alert. So this is the freaking camera, never straight. This is the 2.5-inch Deco ribbon. It was cut at 24 inches. I folded it into a little bow. You know, overlap the edges a little bit. Folded it into a bow so I would have some 6-ish inch loops. And I put those in every pipe cleaner. Every tie, whatever, you know, if you're using a regular work Wreath. And twisting those a good couple of times because I don't want to add anything else to this. I was like, oh, I'm going to add this ribbon. Then I was like, no, you know, because every time I add ribbon, you lose everything. And it's not that this was like terribly expensive mesh. It's just, it becomes a ribbon wreath. Okay, so these I want to kind of have them out like this, and these I want to kind of go in like that. I'm not going to fuss with too much. I just want to make sure that they're even all the way around. I think I would have liked it if I had like a red one and a silver one, and I could have put them together to make the bow like I tried to do earlier, but this looks good. All my pipe cleaners are cut off. I have my little balls over there to cover them later. But it's bow time! This is a favorite part of the show. Everybody loves this part. Except for me. And probably everybody watching this. Let me bring it in. I don't know what I'm doing. I have this metallic-y red. I have this canvas with the white with the kind of stitched edge. I have this white and green, white and red silver. This other stripe. This stripe, but I think this looks... Can you see that? This one looks like cream, and this is definitely white, but this one looks cream, so I don't know. And then I have... I don't even know how old this is. Walmart. Just a polka dot. I think what I'm going to do is... Are these the same size? Yes. I'm going to start off with this one. And then maybe a little bit of this one. This one. How's that look? That's 5. Do I want to add anything else? Like, everything else I have has like green in it. And I just want red and silver and white. So yeah. Okay. Well, I trust y'all. Let me move these over here. When I found my spool holder, I'm going to try it. For the 85th consecutive time. So while I was gone, I ate some lunch. You know, my mom bought me the ribs and everything, and I was like, I don't think I want to eat that. Yesterday, I was like, I definitely don't want to eat that, but today I was like, should I eat that? And I ate it, and oh my god, y'all gonna have to come over. My mom's gonna make potato salad. So good. Ribs, I'm not a huge fan of because I don't like eating meat off the bone. Like, I don't eat steaks that have bones in them. Oh, this is red on the back. That's pretty. I just have this thing where I'm like, I know it came from an animal. Like, I know an animal died, so I could have this. I just don't want that reminder. Which probably sounds really stupid, but I don't know. It's just... I already don't like that. Oh, okay. So, I'm gonna do... I saw somebody make a bow in one of their lives, and she did... I think she did like 2... Oh my god, y'all, this ribbon is so heavy. This is just not working out now, is it? Oh! I don't know what to do with this. Am I supposed to, like, let a bunch of... That's probably... Oh my god. It's been months since I've had this thing, and I'm still like, wait, what am I doing? What? Oh my god. No. She did, like, 4 loops and pulled them out, and then she did 2 loops, and they were in the middle, and then she did 4 loops, and they were out, but they were shorter. Should I make this 7 inches? That's really big, but I want a big bow. Because I don't know what else is going on here. But I'm going to do 6. Wow, that's like legit stuck in there because the things are so tight now, and this ribbon is super heavy duty. This is from Craft Outlet. And I'm trying to get in the habit of when I'm done with my ribbons, take me a little pin and just stick it in there. And this is so thick it doesn't want to go through. But you know, it's a habit. I'm trying to put pins in there. Alright, so these come down, right? Down. This one goes up. This one goes up. This one comes down and down. Okie dokie. Is this 6? Yeah. I don't want to have another freak out where I'm like, what the hell is this? Alright, now this red is the same size, so do I want to do a different size? Either same size. This is it, but I don't want a stripe next to the stripe. Okay, well, let's see what happens. And then I'm just going to do 2 loops with this one. See, I had my Easter dinner for lunch. It was so good. Oh, what do you know? Stupid thing. Had my Easter dinner for lunch. Super good. Went to rest my back with a full stomach, and of course I fell asleep. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my glasses off and just, you know, have a little me time, little sleepy time, me time. I'm just trying to keep busy. I talked to my friend Michelle, and she says that I was telling her, I was like, it's so weird here. Like, there's just, spoiler alert again, that's just gonna keep falling. I said it's so weird here. Like, you know, there's all these precautions in place, and you know, getting into Walmart is like, you know, trying to break into Fort Knox now because it's so, everything's like so secure. And she's like, we don't have any of that here. She's she's outside of Dallas in Texas. She's like, our governor wants to like open everything back up next week. And I was like, oh my God. I guess because they don't have as many cases, but a good way to get more cases is to open things up too early. Am I right? I don't know what I'm doing. So she's been homeschooling her kids for maybe like 3 weeks. And I think we do 4 loops with this one too. Which, I mean, if you're a parent who doesn't, like, not that she doesn't spend time with her kids, because obviously she spends time with her kids, but she doesn't spend all day with them. I can't imagine. I mean, if judging by my neighbor next door who was just outside, I was talking to my mom and letting the dog out, and she was screaming so loud at the kids, and I was like, wow, she's stressed. But also her kids are demon hellspawn, so. It might have something to do with it. My mom also told me, she's like, I was listening to the governor and he's tracking our cell phones, and I was like, wait, what? She said something about him tracking the cell phones, like not tracking them to like see what you're talking about. How many feet were on here? 9. Okay, well, that makes sense. Like tracking it to see like where the cell phones were being used, and there were like clusters of people all over the city in places like they weren't supposed to be, and he was very disappointed. And I was like, well, I mean, you could stop people from gathering, but I don't know. I'm over it. Oh crap, this one's smaller. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Oh man, I hate the way they package this Walmart ribbon. It's got like 8 staples in it, it's got glue dots, it's got tape. This is kind of sheer, which I'm not a huge fan of, but let's see. Well, and my mom got through another day at work. bring these in just a little bit. Right, like a, what is that, like 4.5? Yeah, that's good. Because if you bring them in all, if you keep do the bow all the same sizes and you do multiple loops, you can't, you don't see the ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of these. I'm going to do 4 on the last one. Might go crazy and do 6 because I like this ribbon. What is that? 1. Okay, this is 5. Oh my god, this thing. I invented something. Well, I haven't invented it. I invented it in my head. Does that count? To hold my ribbon and my mesh in a way that works for me, and I just have to figure out how to implement it. Because I have all those caddies, but I don't have room for that. I'm not loving this ribbon. It's so... Every time I get like a satiny or silky ribbon, it's so hard to work with. Not like impossible to work with, it's just kind of a pain. Because see, it doesn't stay down. Like that other one, it stayed down fine. I know it's because it's getting towards the top of the top of here. Oh, okay, stay down. That's a stupid ribbon everywhere. So if I pull one down here, you definitely... Wait, what are you doing? Come this way. You here, you up here, you over here, and this way, and this way. I'm finding that the bows are becoming easier if I do this step. Like I go through and I'm like, okay, this is where I want everything to be. So that's where it's gonna be. Like getting everything in its final place before actually tying off and fluffing up. This one will just be I'm just using this to see putting them up to make sure they're even, which they're not. Okay. Well, feel good to me. You're gonna come down here with your friends. You're gonna come under here with your friends. We are gonna go on either side of the middle loop. That's where you will also go. Here and here. I don't know. Y'all, I don't know about this. I mean, I'm completely confident in this, absolutely, but not at all. But I'm gonna add some leftover ribbon to make like longer. You know, these things, longer tails. I don't want red. So what's the first thing y'all are gonna do when everything's back to normal? I keep seeing that everywhere. Like everybody's like, "What are you gonna do when things are back to normal?" I am going to make my mom hug me for 3 hours. And then maybe go to like... Oh, don't fall. Don't you fall on me. Alright, see, I'm trying to get this into the middle, but I also don't want this to fall. So can you come to the back? Okay, are we all still... We're still good? Everybody still good? I think so. I think I would like to... I don't know what I want to do. I mean, I don't do anything to begin with, but... I think I'd just like to go shopping with my mom. I want to go shopping with my mom. I want to have my sister come over. And we can watch a scary movie. I want to watch a scary movie because I haven't been able to because I'm just like so psychotic lately. Yeah, I just want to have like a normal Saturday with my mom, which they've been pretty normal because, you know, we go out, we get our groceries. Well, I usually, oh, wow. I usually get my, that's never coming off. I get my groceries. She's there every day and she gets to shop before the store opens, so she's usually pretty good about having things. Alright, before I move my, this is 18, so each tail would be 9, which would not be much longer, so let me just, I'm going to use this as a guide. I'm not going to cut them all the same length. Yeah, normal stuff. That's all I want. I'm like, just let me do some normal stuff. I was talking to my therapist today, and I was like, it's been really hard on me. It's been really hard on everybody. I'm not just like, oh, it's been really hard on me, but, I'm me. So, of course, I'm concerned about myself most of all. But then I start thinking about, like, people who don't have the resources I do, whether it's my support system or access to medication or access to a therapist. I wish people I wish they let mental health be more of a priority, you know? Like, hey, we get that, you don't have cancer and, you weren't in some horrible accident, but, like, mentally ill people are ill. And they deserve as much access to whatever's available as anybody else. That's why I was so impressed with that counselor from Holy Cross, because she was just like, we're here to help. She said, if anything happens, you can call me back. I don't know when I'll be able to talk to you, but, we're always here if you run into a problem with your other therapist. I was just like, can't we have more of that in this world? That would be lovely. Alright, and I've just put these together, not really caring about, well, kind of in the middle, not, oh crap, I forgot to put a thing in. Oh crap, how many times am I going to say this while I'm filming this? Oh crap, you guys. Can I get it in there? Come on, here we go. Okay. And we've reached the portion of our program where I have to stand up. Not only because my back is killing me, but I need to hover. I need to hover over this wreath. And a whole thing of glitter just fell on the floor. I hope the cap stayed on. You stay over there. Oh my god, you're being so indignant. And we're up. Hey, baby dog. And I just saw a pair of scissors I've been looking everywhere for on the floor, so that's good. So this is just so I can have a little bit more streamers without having to measure without having to leave super long tails on the bow maker, because that's a pain. Alright, I'm going to put that over here. Oh, why did y'all make me cut that off? I usually like to keep the cable tie on, but we're gonna see what happens. Alright, what's next? This is the red one. Just want to get these tails down first. And then this one. You gotta be careful with these. I think this was, what was this, like a Family Dollar ribbon? You have to be really careful with those because they want to fall apart. They're like, oh, please let me fall apart. So like these canvas ribbons, they are good to go. Alright, so there's my tails, and now I'm gonna start from the back, and what do we decide? One down here, one over here. So see, that forms an X. And then these, the second layer, hold on. Second layer goes in between. And then this will go over here, up and down. This one, there's 6 loops, right? So a little twisted at the bottom. So let me just. So yesterday was Easter. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Y'all do Easter stuff? I feel like every year we barbecued, and usually by Easter it was warm enough to go in the pool, so it was like a barbecue pool kind of day. I don't know that we had like ham. I fluffed that pretty quick, huh guys? It's usually like 45 minutes of me standing here cursing quietly under my breath. where do you need to go? There was a spot where I saw, I was like, why is there no silver here? This looks all pretty even. This... I think it needs to go there, because you know I'm putting it in that corner. They always go in that corner. So... should I put this on first? Yeah, I should put this on... Okay. Oh. And I want it to be on top of a poof. That stupid Madonna Cherish song in my head, and I don't know why. Okay, I don't want to... I want it to be snug, I just don't want it to be smashed. So I'm not going to tighten it super tight right now. Give it a couple. See, and it's still... oh, there we go. It's like I put it where I want it, but it's always too far back. Oh, this is going to be another frayer. Okay. And now we'll take these. And I probably should have put these on before, but you live, you learn. Either I'm hungry or my stomach's starting to hurt again. Alright, big stripe, solid red, smaller stripe, polka dot, polka dot, and then white, and white. Okay, that's a monster bow. Every time I almost cut these the wrong way. Let me do some preliminary trimming here. Always go back and end up trimming. You know, I'll put it on my shed to take pictures, and then I'm like, oh no, that's too long. Oh, why did I cut that one too short? You know, it's like that. And I'm gonna maybe twist this one up some. I don't like those curled up normally, but what am I doing here? I think I figured out like craft outlets. Really, every what is wrong with me? I think I figured out craft outlets like scheduled for when they open and close ordering. It looks like they close every Friday, like either late morning, early afternoon, and they open back up Sunday night. Because I was on there like adding stuff to my wish list just so I could keep track of what I wanted next time I ordered. And it kept saying disabled, ordering was disabled, and then it said ordering is enabled, and I was like, wait, what? That was my stomach. I just like these kind of thinner ribbons rolled up a little bit. If only to keep them out of the way a little bit for a little while. Because, you can see they don't stay. Oh. One almost got away. Alright. So I am pretty happy with this bow. It still needs to be fluffed some more, but most of that doesn't happen until it's up for photography. Oh, look at this one too. This is like some thick sandpaper ribbon, y'all. Use this to file my toes down later. Alright, and I still don't know if I want to go through and glue the little balls over the pipe cleaners. Look, it made like a little house shape. But I know I want to add this. I bought this, I think it was, I don't know when it was, but I looked at it and I was like, what is this supposed to be? But it's a garland, supposedly. But they were all... Is this two of them, or did I just rip one in half with my mighty man strength? There were a bunch of them stuck together, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I get what it's supposed to be, but that's not what it's giving me. So, let's attempt to untangle. What is this? Must be tangled here. Okay. So, I think I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this below here. And then cut it again, like here. Because that's all I want from there. So cut it here. Enough to hold the pieces together. Because this is all just floral tape on here. was this, $14? I hope I didn't pay more than $1.40 for this. Oh. Who are the people who can shop at places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby when it's not clearance? Or when it's not, I mean, because I bought things that are on, I don't think I've ever bought anything regular price at Hobby Lobby unless it's something super cheap, like pipe cleaners. I don't think in the future I will be supporting Hobby Lobby anymore. I am tired of them using religion as an excuse to do anything they want. I mean, like, I get the stuff with, not to get political, but I get their beliefs about not wanting to cover healthcare that covers services for women. I kind of get that. Don't support that, but I just kind of get it. But this whole thing with not paying their workers, that's messed up. I mean, that guy has so much money. It's just sad that, like, smaller companies can afford to pay their employees, but not Hobby Lobby. I feel bad for those people. Alright. And my mom hates going to Hobby Lobby anyway, so. But it's just, you know, it's hard when you have a, like, when you have a place that you want to support, and then you feel like you can't anymore without agreeing with their principles, you know? I don't know. My closest Hobby Lobby is in Slidell, and you have to go over this huge bridge to get there, and it's just, it's a lot. We have one bridge goes to Slidell from where I live, and it is 5 miles long. And then we have another bridge that goes to the North Shore, which is Lake Covington, where I want to move. It's 26 miles long. Y'all, a 26-mile long bridge. Could you even? I drove it once by myself, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. And I don't think I ever have. I never go with her anyway. And you can get to it from the 5-mile bridge. But, you know, eventually you have to cross over Lake Pontchartrain at some point to get out of New Orleans. Oh, man. Is this on? Nope. Get back in there. I wish I was one of those people like on YouTube that are just like, I went and got all stuff from Hobby Lobby for my Christmas tree this year, or, oh, I went to Michael's and they had this, and I'm over here like, I went to the Dollar Tree, and then I spent 17 hours making it look like I went to Michael's. But I think that's fun too. Probably more fun than it would be to go and just buy the stuff. Because, like, when you make your own stuff, which I don't have to tell you all this, I mean, you're watching a channel of me making stuff. Like, nobody else is going to have this. Like, if I put this on my door, I'm not going to have to worry about, you know, the neighbor down the street putting up the exact same one. I saw that so much around Mardi Gras. There was just, like, so many people that had the exact same ugly wreath from Walmart. And I was like, yo, that wreath was like $30 and it looks horrible. You know what I could do with $30? Could buy 180 chicken nuggets. I'm just saying, I could. Not saying I wanted to. but it could. Yeah, I feel like there's silver missing here too. That's probably just a, need to pull that up some. I don't really want to stick anything under those tails because you're not going to be able to see it. I do want something around here. I like the little peppermints. I am so about, this is like the third peppermint wreath I've made. That's better. Yeah, I think I cut these a little too long, but I'd rather throw out a little bit of ribbon than end up with something I don't like. What is that? Let me try that again. Yeah, I just think I left all these too long. I don't think I want them extending past where this is. Try that again. Which I think this is something everybody struggles with. Like, you have the idea of how it's supposed to look in your head, and then you're like, no. My mom's come over the past 2 nights on Saturday and Sunday because I've just, was feeling bad. But I think, it's getting to be that time where my anxiety starts ramping up. Yeah, it's like 5:30. But I think I'm okay. Might be because I'm keeping busy, might be because my stomach is not tearing itself apart like it was yesterday and Saturday. She wants me to come to Walmart tomorrow to have lunch with her. And I was like, oh. It's not that it's scary, it's just like, there's so many barricades. It's like, it reminds me of Resident Evil when they're all trying to get out of the city. I think it's Resident Evil 2. They're trying to get out of the city and like there's all these barricades and armed guards and stuff. Are these still too long? I don't think that's it. How many more pieces of these do I have? Right here. I always feel like I'm missing something by not having a sign, but then I'm like, does every wreath have to have a big sign on it? Somebody out there is like, yes, it does. But I don't know. I guess I just like things that are, I can't say understated because, let's face it, we are not understated over here at Adam Chenevert Incorporated. Okay, and that pretty much wraps it up, except, do I want to add ornaments? I think I want to add ornaments. I'm over here, y'all. Am I disturbing your business? I'm sorry. I really like the mix of like this real silver, and then this kind of tarnishy one. Is tarnishy a word? Could make it a word. That bow is bugging me. Hulu tried to make me start watching the Golden Girls today. I finished watching an episode of something, and it was like, up next, the Golden Girls, and I was like, no. I can't go down that hole. By the time I'm done with that, they'll be like, quarantine has been over for 3 years. And I'll be like, wait, what? What happened? Where am I? Is Betty White still alive? Yes, I think this is just what she needed. The Wreath, not Betty White. Did Betty White ever do movies? I mean, like, when she was younger. I know she did that movie with... that terrible movie with... Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. You know, one of those movies where somebody pretends to be somebody's boyfriend and then they actually fall in love. Real life. Give me a break. Every time I pretend to be somebody's boyfriend, it's usually because I'm trying to provide an alibi. That was a joke. I charge for that. It's not like something I do for free. Oh, you guys, I turned the air off again for you and I am regretting it. See, I always end up adding things from one, like keeping it the way it was and then adding things and then remembering, oh wait, there's an entire section on top of the bow and there's stuff on the side of the wreath as well. I mean, not that anybody really sees, but whoever you sell it to. Oh no, this fell in here. Oh god, it's got 7 pounds of glue on it. Okay, well, that one is never gonna move. So I'm about finished with this. Why don't you guys tell me in the comments how you're holding up, if you're holding up, who your support system is. You know, let's try to re-glue this one first of all. Let's try to be there for each other as much as we can. Or continue to be there for each other, because I feel like we have a very small, but we have a good community starting here. That's what I was talking to my therapist today. I said, you know, I did this video where I was just completely honest about how I feel and what's going on and how I'm struggling. And I said, and I had so many people that just like reached out publicly and privately, you know, offering to listen, offering to, you know, do whatever they can, and other people who are like, you know, I'm dealing with the same thing. And I said, that is more important to me than any number of subscribers or views or money that I can make. I was like, that is just knowing that I can that I can help somebody who is in my situation or in a situation like mine, because I mean everybody's situation is, why is this doing this? Everybody's situation is so different. But I said, you know, I wasn't even going to post that video because it was just so, I was like, this is like too heavy for a crafting channel on YouTube. But hey, we all have demons. Okay. All right, what do we think? What do you think? Oh my God, God bless whoever buys this wreath and has to deal with this bow. It could be you. I'm trying to start my Etsy store, and every time I go to do it, I'm like, oh, I'd rather go have a root canal. Okay, so yeah, it's a little peppermint fantasy. Why am I pulling this when I should be cutting it? Why am I still pulling it? Okay, it came out. So yeah, more red and silver and white. I'm going to try to do a green one next, or a rose gold one, because I have so much rose gold for my Christmas tree last year that I could be using. So I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if you need anything. Not that I can help, but, you know, maybe I can. Maybe this video helped you. Let me know. All right, guys. Bye.